great of lighting in here, but
Yeah, I'm not going. Hi, everybody. Woohoo!
I just got notification.
Yay!
We're live.
Let me get all this taken care of. Here,
Okay.
get my chat and everything up. Hi, Dawn, Emily, Janice. How y'all doing? Let me see. Let me get all this rigmarole fixed up here. As you all notice, hi, Mama. We have Miss Tammy Sully. Hi, Diane, up here on the chat with us. And we also will have C. Marie, Janice, Paparette. Let me get up here. Hi, Rebecca, Sandy, Angel, Blondie. Look at y'all. Aren't you just, look at this, chaos.
I
Jill.
can't see him. Hey guys.
She can't see chat. So what we're going to do is, what we're going to do tonight is, okay, you're just listening. Okay, chaos. What we're going to do tonight is, I'm going to have Tammy start off and just start talking to us about what her experience is. This is our Paranormal Live. So, hi, Shell. So, Miss Tammy's got quite a bit of experience behind all this. Hi, Rocky, Sandy, everybody, hello. And so she cannot see chat, so I'm going to relay any questions that you have, and she will answer anything she possibly can for you. Okay, everybody? Hi, Joyride. And we have two more guests coming in. Lisa, who is a paranormal investigator, also from Texas, but we have C. Marie also. So they will be here shortly. Oh, Mama says, my house is majorly haunted. Captain Buford says hello. And he's clutching his purse.
Hi, Captain.
So I'm really excited. Jillian, hello. Simply Twee says hello. Santa Baby.
Hello, hi.
Santa Baby. Okay, guys. Tammy, I'm going to give you the floor, girl.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll start by just telling everybody back when I was, say it was 1992, I think. And I was living in my boyfriend's house, and I was going through a divorce, and I was young and stupid, and I would see things. There was a lot of trees in the backyard, and it was always in my room. I would see shadows moving, and I would tell myself, oh my God, I'm about to get a migraine, or, and I'm getting zigzaggy lights or whatever. Oh my God, the sun went behind a tree, and that's where well, shadows don't walk like that from the sun going behind a tree. And a couple of times it walked straight at me. One time when it walked straight at me, I looked at it, and I shook my head. I was like, no, I am not seeing what I'm seeing, but I was.
So they walked right by you or in front of you? They walked in front of you?
Yes. I was getting my clothes ready on the bed I had them all spread out, getting ready to get dressed. And I felt aggression from it, but not overly or anything. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to deny that, or to tell yourself that that's the sun going behind a tree when something the shape of a human walks directly at you.
Oh my God, I would have crapped my pants.
I shook my head. I was like, no, I can't be seeing that. Well, then I started, getting scared. And I started putting things together. There had always been weird things in that house. I was in college at the time, and I would leave and go to school, and it had those wall heaters, that it's a turn knob to turn it on. Well, my door opened directly onto the heater. I would turn it off and I would go to school and leave my door open, didn't think nothing about it. Sometimes I would close it. I remember a couple of times I would come home and the door would be up against the heater and the heater on full blast, and me knowing that I turned it off. And this
Oh, wow.
happened pretty regular. Yeah. Well, a turn knob's not going to turn itself. You know, I would tell myself, well, the house is 30 years old, something in the wiring, But a lot of times I would wake up in the middle of the night and it would be up so high that I would just be like suffocating because it was so hot. And so, yeah, I mean, stuff like that you can't explain away, but you don't really pay attention to it, safe enough to pay attention to it. And I really didn't put everything together until I had gotten moved. Now, the reason I moved, I came home from work real night and things had already gotten scary. And I'm walking down the hall, and okay, like if you go to the right, here's my room.
Okay.
And then there's a hall closet at the end. And then on the left, there was this little indention and then a door for the other bedroom. Well, in that little indention in a corner up in the ceiling, it never got any light. Well, I'm walking down the hall to go into my room, and I see this thing, and it's just floating there. And oh my God, I could feel it. And it was just
Glowing,
dread.
there was
And
glowing lights.
it was shooting sparks. It
Oh
was
my
like an
God.
electrified, yeah, but the sparks didn't burn, but it was shooting them, and you knew it hated you. Just dread and horror and just
When would it
hatred. It was awful. I
when would it do
screamed.
this?
Um,
When would it do this? Just certain times of the day or all the time?
this was the only time I ever saw it do this. And I screamed and ran out of the house and moved 3 days later and spent the 3 days at a friend's house. Wouldn't
Oh
even
my
go
God.
pack up my stuff alone. Yeah,
Now, did you
yeah,
know any kind of history about the house at all?
no. All I knew was that the one man had built it and then he had died. The foundation in the house was cracked. Okay. So when things would happen, like doors swing open, I would tell myself, well, the house is unlevel, you know. But once I put everything together, it was like, no, I don't care how unlevel it is. It's not going to turn the knob and have the door open. You have to turn
Exactly.
the knob. Yeah.
Uh, let me see. There's a question here for you, Tammy. Let me
Okay.
see. Of course, they'd say I'd be moving. Hi, Angel. Let me see. Were you home alone? Kitty wants to know.
When I saw the sparks, yes, yes.
Okay.
Now, luckily, I screamed and ran out the back door because it was closer and I was getting the hell out of there. I wasn't in the backyard 2 minutes and my boyfriend pulled in. He came inside with me and stayed until I fell asleep. And then when I got up the next morning, I went to a friend's house and I moved. It was like right at 3 days later, but I would not even go and pack my stuff alone
Oh my
because, I mean,
God.
yeah, yeah. I had a friend of mine that was going to move in with me at that time. She works at the courthouse in like one county over now. She saw it walking down the hall. All of a sudden, she didn't want to move in. Yeah.
Oh my God. Now, when she saw it
No,
walking, what kind of an entity was it?
it was just a shadow moving,
Just
just
a
like what I
shadow.
always saw. Yeah.
Right. Right. And you never did find out any kind of history on the house or anything like that.
No. Mm-mm. All I
Wow.
know is that one man built it. And it was, I mean, I can give you the address. Y'all can look it up if you like. It was 599 West Lowndes Drive, Lownddes.
Five. You said 599.
Yes.
West
Mhm.
Drive.
West Lowndes, Lowndes, and that's in Columbus, Mississippi. Now, the man that built it, his last name was Turnage, Turn
Turna
Turnage.
GE. Okay.
Mhm.
Wow.
And
Okay.
that's all I know. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Let me see here. Melissa Wandering Goat says, "Sweet Lord Jesus, help me." Oh my God. The captain said you would find my skin behind me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Teresa says, I saw an honest goodness Ghostbuster vehicle today with all the bells and whistles on it. Oh my gosh. Okay, and then C. Marie, I see you in here. Hi, Stephanie Mama 3. Hi, Lady Lynn. I was telling your story earlier to our guest, Tammy Sully. Hi, Bless. Bless your heart. Love you, everybody. C. Marie, you can just go ahead and come in anytime, hon. You're in good shape here.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. We can hear you.
I get my little picture to show up.
What? Oh, you got it to work.
Do you see my picture when I talk or no?
Nope, no picture.
How do I do it?
Did you take your camera off again? Turn your camera off
It's off.
or on up at the top?
It's off.
Okay. I don't know, honey. How you do that?
Got it?
Oh, some Vintage Seeker says you're muffled again.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can barely hear her.
Hang on.
Okay. We're trying to get all this taken care of, guys.
Okay, is this any better?
Actually, you sound like you did earlier a little bit now.
I'm not sure what to do. I think I need my husband.
Okay, we'll try that, babe.
Oh, I see her now.
Oh, there you go. I see your picture.
But I'm muffled, right?
Oh, there you go. Now you sound a lot better.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
Darn it. Oh, this is driving me crazy.
Night, Bless.
Can you hear me at all?
We can hear you, yes.
But it's muffled?
Yes, just like it was earlier.
What am I doing wrong?
Try
Does
using.
she have it on speaker?
Yeah, I was going to say, try taking. Are you using your headset again?
Wait, maybe that's the problem. Hang on.
Okay. Alyssa, come on in, honey. I sent you the link. Vinci said, you talking into a soup can? Nah.
Can you hear me at all?
Yep, we can, but you're still okay, Alyssa.
My husband. I'll be back. Let me get my husband.
Okay, the lifesaver. Let me get back to Elisa here real quick and get her a link again. On your train. Try that one there, Lisa. I just sent it to you.
Hang on.
You're fine.
Well, Uber, while you get all that straight, I'm going to plug our new show, if that's cool.
Hey, you go for it, girl.
Uber and I or we have a new show starting soon. It's called Granny Gang. And we've got Randy is going to do a book or a movie review each time, and B is going to do either a recipe or fun fact each time. Uh, Mandy B is going to do professional makeup. Um, um, BLP3 is going to sing. What else was it, Uber?
What are you going to
There was
do?
a couple.
Funny skits.
Yeah, we were going to do skits. Oh, Chaos Kitty is going to do a top 10 list every time. Anyway, there's more. It is going to be a blast. So
Did you get a
you
hold of
guys,
Yaba?
you guys don't want to miss out on that. We don't know all the details yet, but look for it because it is coming up.
It should be fun.
Yeah.
How you doing there, Carmen?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it better?
Mm.
Kind of better?
Yeah, it's a little bit better.
Aw.
Mhm.
My husband's still quivering.
Oh.
Wait, did that help? Wait, what about now?
There you go. Bingo.
Okay, I just had to move the webcam.
I'm going to sneak in the bathroom and smoke.
You just go ahead and go do your thing, girl.
I'm going to
So
take
it's
y'all
okay
with me.
now?
It's kind of like back where it was. Keep talking.
Maybe the webcam's not going anywhere. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Okay, how is it now?
There you go. A lot better, honey.
Okay,
Okay.
we got
There
it
you
then.
go. Bingo. Great job.
Thank
What is it, Jill? I see you, honey. What's going on? I see that's Tammy Sully in the middle. And then Carmen is here. That's C. Marie.
I'm lurking.
You're lurking. Okay, let me see. I'm trying to figure out. We're still waiting on one person, but she's gonna keep coming in. She'll work on it. Okay, so what we were talking about right now, Carmen, was Tammy was telling us about a house that she had moved into that was haunted. Actually, she would see dark figures, and then actually there was a fixture type thing up in the corner or up in the ceiling of her home, and it sparked at her. So she packed her shit, and well, she didn't even wait to pack her shit. She left.
Mm-hmm. No, it wasn't a fixture. It was a free floating sparking orb.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Ooh, that just gives me the willies.
I'm sorry.
Willies.
Yeah.
Do I go into YouTube to see the chat? Is that what I do?
Yes, you need to bring up your YouTube. And then make sure you thank you, Jonesy. Make sure that you mute it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it's muted.
Okay. And then you should be able to see the chat.
Yay. Okay.
Got it?
I did
it. So Tammy, is this the house that the entity was following you from? Or is this a different home?
Yeah. No, that was I moved from there into a trailer. At first I didn't notice anything, but then I would start to get, that creepy feeling, and a couple of times some weird things happened, like I would hear things, um, a dish falling over. Now we did take some Christmas photos that year that turned out weird, and shouldn't have, but
Wow. And it just
yeah, and
disappeared.
then and then all of a sudden it was gone. Maybe it found somebody else that liked better. I don't know, but I sure didn't miss it. So,
Okay, hang on. Keep talking, Tammy. I got to get this gal
okay.
lined out here.
And after that, okay, quite a few years after that, when I was pregnant with my daughter and when she was a brand new baby, we lived in a house in Daphne, Alabama, um, down by Gulf Shores. And we had a haunting there, but it was comforting. All she did was walk down the hall. That's it. But we would see her walk down the hall. Um, she never bothered anybody, so we didn't bother her. Then, here back in January, when my daughter and I moved to Mississippi, now this is weird. We moved into a house that was 599 Gun Lane, and it was haunted, which is weird because two different houses that were 599 were haunted, but this one we never saw anything. Doors would open and we would hear knocking on the walls, and that's it. My daughter said she thought she heard somebody talking a couple of times, but other than that, that was pretty much it. So
Wow.
yeah, none of the only one that was really scary was the first one.
So I'm sorry. I'm trying to get back here to chat and everything. I apologize. I had to send her a link.
Well, one thing that I think also, and I want to point this out, when the scary ones come along, it's usually during a point of high stress for the person. Like I said, I was going through a divorce. It was a nasty divorce. I was dating somebody, living in his house. Stress was like crazy. And here's this thing. So,
Wow.
hi.
Okay, we've got Elisa has just joined us. So we've got Tammy Sully and we've got Carmen, who is C. Marie, on our panel. So,
Hi.
Hi.
so Tammy, now when I went to your site, you were talking about some of your Wiccan. Wicca? Is that Wiccan?
Yes.
Can you
Wicca.
explain to us the different entities that you were talking about? I think there's three of them from
The
what you were
different
saying.
kinds of hauntings.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Some hauntings are like the one in Daphne. They're almost pre-recorded. Um, they're going to do the exact same thing every time, and it's thought that they made some kind of an impression due to emotion, but they don't harm you. Okay. Then you have a comforting haunting, usually like a family spirit or something like that. Doesn't bother you, may surprise you, but that's pretty much it. But then you have like what I had in West Lounge Drive, and there's different levels on that too. You can have a scary haunting, or you can have a demonic haunting. It can be two different things. You know, every ghost is not going to have extra help called in. A lot of them you can get rid of on your own, but it all depends. If you've done things, I've messed with a Ouija board a million times and never had any problems, but I know a lot of people that have. And it does take somebody that knows what they're doing to get rid of things like that.
And so what would you say? I mean, you've got, like you were saying, you've got the three different kinds.
Mm.
So
Mm.
what does one do to get rid of any of them?
Okay, well, there's several things you can do if you're trying to do it on your own. You can take a smudge stick, which is usually sage and sweet grass, excuse me, and smudge your entire home. And I mean every nook and cranny. You can take holy water, which if you're Wiccan, you would set it out under a full moon to charge with the power of the moon. If you're Christian, you can either bless it, say a prayer over it, or actually get it from a Catholic church, go around to every opening in your house and, make a cross or a pentagram, whichever one carries power for you. Order the energy out, sweep it out the door, tell it is not welcome there. It has to go, and that only love and light can stay. Usually, if that does not get rid of it, it will tone it down. Um, but yeah, that's some things that you can do. You can ring a bell. The vibrations of a bell are supposed to, drive them away. You can take a piece of silver if you see it and throw it, and that's supposed to get rid of them. There's a lot of um, old folktale remedies, but those few, the smudge stick in the holy water and tell it to go, that's what I would go with.
Uh, AJ just said, or you can burn the place down and run like hell.
Yeah, yeah, but if it is demonic or if it is like a poltergeist, it is going to follow you. So it wouldn't be any good.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, Tammy, I want to bring in C. Marie about this time because her home is very haunted. Matter of fact, the last clip that she just did, as a matter of fact, you can hear howling, and you can also, there's orbs. But one part in her clip that I was very, taken back by was you could almost see the orb looked almost like eyeballs. I don't know if you recall that, Carmen, or not, but it was right by your stairwell.
Oh, you know what, Uber? That's freaky. I'm sorry, I just have to interject this. In the Bible, one of the hierarchies of angels is a wheel full of eyes.
Mm.
Just saying. Anyway, I'll shut up.
So, Carmen, why don't you give us a little bit of background and tell us about your home?
I don't even know where to start. Can you hear me okay?
Can everybody hear her okay?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes, I can.
I guess start from the beginning. We moved here about 9 years ago. And the first night we were here, the guys went out to get drinks. And I was with my son. He was little then. And we were upstairs putting stuff away in his room. And I heard this giant slam, like in the basement. It sounded like someone like threw a metal barrel against the wall. And then that same night, and I got made fun of so bad, I went downstairs, I walked past the downstairs bathroom, and I heard a man's voice. And everybody called it my toilet ghost. They all laughed at me until everything just started to blow up.
Okay, hang on just a minute, Carmen. Carmen, can you speak up a little bit or turn your volume up? They're saying you're kind of speaking low.
Is this any better?
Yeah, it sounds good to me.
Yeah, you're fine with me. I think it's Captain and his hearing aids.
Can you guys hear me okay? Can you let me know in the chat?
I can.
Yeah, I'm good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that was the very first experience that I had in this house, was the first night. And then it just blew up. The first thing after that, I think I would hear 3 knocks on the bedroom door and then 3 knocks on the closet door. And it would get turned. And then I would hear scratching on the closet door. And when it was during the day, it was like 6 in the morning, that door popped open so hard it busted my dresser. And at that time, we're new here, so we're like putting cat food in the closet to see if some animal could have got in. And that was just the start of it. I went in the bedroom and I had a ponytail. It grabbed my ponytail hard, and I ran downstairs crying. It scared me so bad. But so then we had like the normal ghost stuff where cabinets are opening and things are moving. But then it got really bad. Like the first 2 years, it was really, really bad. And then we had the house blessed and it wasn't so bad. But the worst experience that it was a giant black mass, and it came from under the door. It crept up the wall, got right in front of me, right in my face. I couldn't move. I couldn't talk. And my instinct was to say, in the name of Jesus, leave, because that's, I don't know, you see it on TV or whatever.
Right.
I couldn't say it out loud, but I could think it. And I swear to God, this thing whispered in my ear, he can't help you. And that was the start of
Oh
the
my
path.
God.
Is
That
it
was
still there, Carmen?
still here. It's still
Is
here,
it
but
still there?
it's not as bad as it was, but yes, it's still here.
Mm.
That just started an onslaught of nightly attacks. And it was a male presence, and I it was a male presence, and it could scratch you, and it could touch you, and it was nasty.
Have you
Yeah.
ever had anybody come in and bless the house or try to get rid of this?
That's a story in itself. I finally found a priest. Nobody would do it because I don't belong to a Catholic church. And a priest finally came out, and you could tell he was nervous. He would had that little sprinkle thing. He'd put it in the room, he'd sprinkle, then he'd run through the room, go to the next. And at one point, he just looked at me and looked at the stairs, because it's the worst upstairs. That's where it's the worst. And he just knew it was up there. And and then he went from the normal blessing of a house to where he actually put the Bible on the floor, grabbed another Bible or a book on how to get demons out of your house. And he recited all that, and he just left. He didn't say goodbye. All he said to me was, "Don't blame the Catholic Church if it doesn't work." And he was gone.
God.
Our house is bad. I'm not kidding. John Zappa's house does, if you know who that is.
Carmen, where do you live in the country?
We are in the middle of nowhere on a farm. We were told by different people it's a land, and it's not going to go. It's not just a house, it's a land. There's no way of getting rid of it.
Are there any Native American tribes around you where maybe you could get a shaman?
I really don't know. We've tried so many things that people tell us it's ridiculous, but I know in my heart it's not going to leave. It's more than that. We get voices of men, women, and children. There's more than one thing going on here.
Oh my
And we
God.
do live by Old Battleground.
You're by an old battleground?
We live near Old Battleground, and my husband has a metal detector. He found a Civil War belt buckle. There was rope right beside it, and he found a Civil War cannonball.
Ooh. Now,
I have one of those too.
We have a little bit of everything going on.
so has your husband or your kids ever been hurt?
Not my husband. He hasn't been hurt, but me and my son have.
Your son has.
Yeah, scratches, and it grabbed his leg one night.
Oh
But
my
that
God.
that was before the blessing. And after the blessing, it's still here, but it's not hurting, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Now, does it wake you up still, or
Yeah,
it still does?
yes. It will toss things in the bedroom. It'll slam on the wall. Not too long ago, something pressed my head into the pillow. It will tug the sheet under you, not out from under you, but under you. And I swear to God, not too long ago, it felt like a man was spooning me.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a male presence.
What does your husband say about this? Does he feel any of it?
He didn't at first, and now he does. And he said if he actually would see it as the black mass or something like that, we'd move. So he hasn't seen it like I have and like my son has. It doesn't mess with him as much.
It doesn't.
No. Just
Huh.
like tonight I'm cooking, and this was just like nice things that happened, like maybe just like a friendly ghost or something. But this little tag fell off a potato sack, no big deal. Right after that, a big spoon flew out of oh, what do you put spoons in? The dish drainer, it flew out of that. And I'm like, okay, well, that could have been anything. And then right after that, there was a little brush on the windowsill and it flew to the middle of the room. And that was just tonight.
Oh my God. I bet you when you first thought you probably thought you were going crazy, didn't you?
I did. I did. No one believed me until it happened to them. I really did. It picked on me the most.
Really? But it hasn't hurt you anything anymore?
Not since the blessing, no, but it does touch me. But it
It does
hasn't
touch
hurt.
you still.
It was,
Wow, guys, this is creepy. This is creepy. It could be
I,
dangerous.
I was told by a lot of people that they thought it was an incubus.
Now, what
Because
is that? I'm not familiar with that.
it is a demon that preys on women.
An incubus?
They prey on women sexually.
Prey on women.
Yeah.
It's a sexual attack.
Yeah.
Now, have you done any background check on the house or the surrounding land?
I know a lot about the house, but I kind of want to save that for a live stream, most of it.
Right.
But we do know that we have I get EVPs of men, women, and children. It's crazy. And it's like they're sitting right next to you. It's so clear. But there's a woman, and I had her numerous times, and she said her name was Alma. And my husband just decided to Google cemeteries nearby. And if you just walk maybe 2 houses down, we're in the middle of nowhere, but it's not far. There's a little old cemetery that no one uses. And there's an Alma in that cemetery, which was really weird because it's right by our house. And we did research, and the one thing that we found out is that her husband did own a corner of the property,
Uh-huh.
and he had 4 wives. They all died, and Alma was buried with her baby. So that's part of the history that.
Wow. And all 4 of them are buried over there in the cemetery?
I don't know if they're in the cemetery, not just Alma that I know of for sure.
Right. Well, the night that I was watching, I saw those eyes. Did you see those, Carmen?
I didn't right away, and then everybody pointed out, and I actually, it scared me, and I don't scare too easily anymore. There's a black figure, and it walks across, and it sits at the bottom of the stairs.
Yeah.
You can see it. It blocks out the light even.
Yeah.
And then it's back across. And my stepson saw that, and he won't spend the night since.
Wow. Well, I don't blame him. I wouldn't either. Sorry. I love you, girl, but I would not be coming to your house to spend the night.
My son-in-law.
I would.
This broke my heart. He came over for the first time, and he goes into the bathroom, and he comes out white as a ghost, or cheat, or whatever, and something had growled in his ear and grabbed him. And that's my son-in-law, and I don't want him afraid of my house.
Right, right. Hi, Marine Mom. So have you asked this entity to leave?
Oh, many times. My husband has yelled at it. We've asked it. We've done all these different things everyone tells you to do. It does nothing.
Hi, Gary, honey.
Up and down. Faith doesn't do a damn thing.
It doesn't.
No.
Nothing.
Honestly,
Oh, gosh. Meadow. No, honey. You're more than, I forgot. I'm glad you reminded me. Would you like to come on? I forgot all about that. Dadgummit. Are you going to bed? No, don't leave me. Don't leave me. Oh, dadgummit. I forgot all about it. I got so engrossed. Oh, I'll catch her next Friday. Sweet Meadow has got one hell of a story. Not that this isn't a good story, because it is. But, no, I want you to come on. I want you to tell your story. Oh, my gosh. She's a shaman. Kat Hansen? How does she get a hold of her, Mary? I'm going to send you a link, Sweet Meadow. I'm going to send you a link, honey. You girls keep talking. I'm going to be doing my business.
Well, I was going to say, Carmen, actually, from what it sounds like to me, anything that you could do, like the smudging and ordering it to leave, is just going to piss it off, I think, at this point.
It does piss it off.
Honestly, I think, yeah, I think ignoring it is just going to make it more determined to get your attention. You know, I think, yeah, you really, a shaman might could help, a witch in the area might could help, but I don't think on your own there's anything you could do. And I would honestly recommend caution against doing anything in a situation like that. I would get a professional.
Yeah, nothing's worked. We had John Zappis, if you know who he is, tried to help us. And then because of what I
Yeah,
do for a living, I'm kind of linked to a lot of these ghost hunting shows, which are stupid, but some of them they've really tried to help, but it just
yeah.
doesn't work.
Alyssa, can you think of anything she could do?
Honestly, I pretty much was thinking the same thing, to get somebody, just depending on your religious beliefs or unreligious beliefs, just whatever you believe in, find somebody geared towards a cleansing. A shaman, I would awesome shamans do amazing work. Um, if you can get in touch with one that's willing to come out, I'd say that's your best bet. In some of my experience, you can tell this if it's touching you to stop and be a little more forceful with it. Sometimes it stops, but then again, you could anger it, because obviously there's something that it seems like your activities kind of come down a little bit, but definitely with the preacher coming in, it doesn't sound like he did what really needed to be done. Do believe it kind of coincides with your beliefs too. So maybe look towards a shaman to come through and do an actual cleansing for you.
I'm willing to try that. My
I
main
think it'd be your best bet.
with
Yeah.
my son would see a figure stand in the corner of his room, and it would just rush up to his face. And the nights he told me that, the next day he'd have scratches on his leg.
Oh my God. Yeah.
See, that's the difference between a priest and a shaman. Priests, they study these things, they know about these things, but a shaman walks among these things every day. They're not afraid of it. They know, you know what I mean?
It is old battleground, so maybe that would be good. I don't know.
Right. Now, Mary Emerson, can you type in there the name again? And then I don't know if you can see the chat, Carmen, but she said that there is somebody that would be able to help you.
Okay.
There's been a few people talking about shaman, I've seen in the comments.
Hi, Sweet Meadow.
Hi,
Hi.
Sweet Meadow.
How are you, babe?
Oh, I'm good. I am getting a little tired though. It's been a long day.
Okay, well, if you can hang on just for a second, Marie
Oh, no
or
problem.
Mary, if you can type in that name again, and then Carmen, if you wouldn't mind looking under MK Emerson,
Okay.
please try K-Hat. She's a powerful, and she can get rid of it, but I don't know who she's talking about. So I want to introduce everybody to Sweet Meadow. I'm sorry, Lisa. I'm going to get to you, babe. I want to introduce Sweet Meadow. She is a cancer survivor. And today we were doing a live show on her channel, get her aware of the cancer or get her, she's aware of the cancer, sorry, to get her kind of comfortable with doing the live shows. So anyway, while we were talking, come to find out, Sweet Meadow knew Lacey and Scott Peterson, and knew them very well. So I'm gonna let you take it away, Sweet.
I don't, the experiences that I've had, I don't consider them paranormal, but maybe you guys can correct me and tell me if they are or if they are not. I was told that they are not. Um, I've been having experiences. My first experience was when I was in high school, and both my sister and I have experienced these types of experiences, and they're with people who have passed away. Um, and I'll share a little bit about Lacey in a minute, but I just want to share my first experience. I was in high school. It was my freshman year. I was dating a very popular guy in high school for a very short time. It was probably about four weeks, and he brought me home. We were out in the day, spent the day together, and he brought me home, and he was on. We were on his motorcycle, and he dropped me off, and we had a wonderful day. And there was no hint that he was going to break up with me. But when we were standing out in front of my house saying goodbye, he went ahead and he broke up with me, and he didn't give me any reason except for I got the feeling that I just wasn't popular enough. I wasn't good enough. And so I had ran in the house. I acted like it didn't bother me in front of him, but then I ran in the house, ran past my mom my mom was in the kitchen cooking, ran past my mom, ran upstairs, and I shared a bed with my sister. We shared a room, and we had a double bed at the time. A double bed. And I just plopped myself down on the bed and I was crying. And the only other bedroom that was upstairs was the room across from me was my other sister's bedroom, who also has these types of experiences. And anyway, so I'm sitting there wallowing in my teenage, boyfriend pain and crying. And all of a sudden I feel on the other side of the bed, somebody sit down. And I looked over and there was nobody there. And then, I could feel them moving. So I pulled the bedding back and I could see the indentation. And it scared me to death. And I ran in my sister's room. I ran to her room because she was in her bedroom. My other sister, my oldest sister, ran in there and I told her what had happened. And I was scared to death. Well, it wasn't talked about with me, but it was talked about with my mom, what my older sister was going through, having these experiences. And so my older sister, she took me, probably within a week and a half, she took me to a lady that she had been talking to. And all I knew about this lady, now mind you, I'm a freshman in high school. All I knew about this lady was that she was a psychic. And so she took me to her and we sat down and she did, I guess, a reading. I'm not really positive what exactly it was, but she sat with me for a while. And she had told me that that what I experienced was real. And she said that we all have the ability, but it's like a muscle. You have to exercise it. You have to grow with it and become aware of it and not be afraid of it. And if the more that I rejected it as I grew older, the more it would go away. But if I didn't reject it, it would get stronger and my abilities to recognize this stuff would grow. And I didn't quite understand all that, but she said it was my uncle, and he was there to comfort me. And he was very sorry about the last time I had seen him. And he passed away feeling really bad about that. And what I didn't know at the time was the bed that was up there in mine and my other sister, we shared a room. Our beds were getting older, so my mom had thrown the twin beds out, and that was my uncle's bed that he passed away on. And
Oh.
yeah, and I didn't know that at the time, but that was told to me also later. So there was a connection there. And then my mom had asked me, well, my mom asked me, she wanted me to try to remember when we got back from this reading, what could my brother possibly feel bad about with you? And so we couldn't figure it out for years. And then finally it came to me. What had happened was years before that, when I was in junior high school. Now, this would have been my first year of junior high school. He had been diagnosed with throat cancer. And the reason why he had ended up with throat cancer is he used to drink vodka just straight out of the bottle. And, it caught up with him. Anyway, I was home from school. This was when I was in junior high school. I was home from school sick. My mom went on to work, and my stepdad had taken me to the doctor. I had a doctor's appointment. Well, just as we were walking out the door to go to the doctor, my uncle got out. He was parked out in front of our house, and he got out of his car. And we didn't even know he was out front, but we walked to get in the car, and my stepdad could recognize that he had been drinking, and he said, "Bob, I got to take my daughter I got to take Meadow to the doctor." So he said, "Just get in the car and go with us." And so he got in the front seat, and I got in the back seat, and so we went to the doctor's. My uncle stayed in the car while we were in the doctor's office. And then when we were done, we came back, and we got in the car and we went to drive home. And my stepdad, stopped at a red light, and a bottle had rolled from underneath the seat. And it was a big bottle of vodka, and the empty bottle hit my foot. And I knew it didn't belong to my parents. And I tapped my stepdad on the shoulder, and I held the bottle up just a little bit for him to see through the rearview mirror so he could tell, because I knew if my uncle kept drinking, he was going to die, because he had just had throat surgery. And anyway, my uncle turned around and looked at me, and he saw that I was horrified. And then when we got back to the house, he was trying to come up and talk to me, and they had taken his vocal cords, and he couldn't talk. It was real raspy, and it was just very scary. And I was afraid of him because he just couldn't talk right. So I just ran in my room, and I was just really scared. Well, then shortly after that, I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks after that, my mom and us girls were in the kitchen getting dinner, and the phone rang, the house phones that used to hang on the wall. And the phone rang, and I went ahead and answered it. And all I could hear was this raspy voice, and I couldn't make it out, and it scared me. I thought it was a prank phone call, so I slammed the phone down. And I looked over at my mom and my sisters in the kitchen. My mom says, what's going on? And I just told her I think it was a prank phone call, and I got scared. And so we all ignored it, but that was him calling the house for help, and he passed away that night. And so it was just a weird coincidence. I didn't recognize that that's what he was doing, was asking for help, and I didn't recognize that, that he had throat cancer. I was just a young girl, and he was a really big guy, and I was always afraid of him. I was just always afraid of him, and he just wasn't a kid-friendly uncle, and so I was told that he was there to try to comfort me and to make some sort of amends or relationship with me after his passing. Now, I don't know how much truth there is to that, but that's what I was told. And, hindsight's 2020. I have felt that presence again. And I do believe now, to this day, it was him. So, and then regarding Lacey, when you go to her grave, when you could, she was always, you hear that was always into dragonflies. And when you go to her grave, you'll see dragonflies fly around. And that's pretty much everybody can see that. They couldn't put a headstone on her grave for years because of the looky-loos and the general public, and they thought that people would come take pieces of her stone if they put one up. And so we would put yard ornaments with dragonflies to mark her grave. And then when you would go out there, dragonflies would fly around and show up. And where her grave is located, there's not a lot of trees. She's not like under a tree, and there's not a lot of trees. There are trees on the property, but they're just not right there. So it's like a dragonfly would have to fly. Dragonflies usually fly, from place to place and land. And so that's really something. So I really believe that's her.
Probably is. Jeez, oh Pete.
And I've had other incidences throughout my life, but they're all the same. They're all related to somebody who has passed away. Sometimes I know who they are, and sometimes I don't. This one gal that I took care of, I met her in chemo, and she had passed away, and she would come, she would ask me, she never drove. She was in her 70s, and she never had a driver's license, and she never drove. She walked everywhere. And so I was giving her rides, groceries and stuff like that. And she'd come over quite a bit and eat dinner with us and drink tea or what have you, just to get out of the house. And she would always get real depressed, and we would talk, and she would say, Pam, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. And I said, I know, honey. You just don't know there's not a whole lot you could say to that,
Mm-hmm.
And her situation was bad enough because she was, passing away from, she was at end stage ovarian cancer. But And we met in the chemo room. She was having chemo, and I had just come in there to say hi to everybody, make coffee back there. And, I would just sit with patients and stuff. And so I was there. I saw the doctor briefly, and then I just went back there to say hi to everybody. And so I met her. She was there having treatment, met her by accident, sat and visited with her a bit, and we exchanged phone numbers, started giving her rides. We got really close. She had told me that she was estranged from her daughter, and her and I became like mother and daughter. And then her daughter came back into her life, and she had told me that if it wasn't for her and our relationship, because she felt like she had learned how to be a mom again and how to treat her daughter again. It was just the relationship she had. Her daughter had a bad drug habit, so her mom forgot how to be kind to her because her daughter forgot how to be kind back. So that it was just it was a bad situation.
Yeah.
But for her and I, we didn't have that exchange. We were always good to one another. So, I would tell her, if your daughter calls, be kind. Be kind. Just be kind. You're responsible for you. That's all you can do. Anyway, it developed into where they could tolerate each other, and her daughter ended up moving back in with her. And tragically, her daughter overdosed just, I think it was less than 27 days before she passed away. Her daughter had relapsed. It did some drugs in the garage. Her heart couldn't tolerate it, and she had ran in the house and collapsed on the bed, never making it to her mother. And her mother called 911, and her daughter had passed away. She was dead on arrival when the paramedics got there.
Mm.
And then her mom, which was my good friend, died shortly after, less than a month after. And so we ended up attending a mother-daughter funeral, and that was really, really sad. And she had butterflies all over her house, just everywhere. She loved butterflies. So she had butterfly plaques on the wall, butterfly pottery, butterfly hot pads, butterfly this, butterfly that. And I've lived in my house 18 years. And after she passed away, I'll be out in my backyard and I will see white butterflies.
Oh, wow.
Never saw white butterflies in my backyard before.
Wow. Well, you got quite the stories.
So, but they're all related to somebody who's passed over on the other side. Nothing malicious, nothing nothing. So I don't know. Is that considered paranormal activity?
I don't know, Lisa. What do you think?
I think experience with some paranormal stuff, but I don't know. I'm going to say it's 100% paranormal as a personal experience. She was saying the butterflies. That makes me smile because my grandma, she passed away this summer, and she had bought these little mirrored butterflies to stick on her closet and stuff, and it scared her. That was last Christmas, and this year she really got into butterflies. And just yesterday I was going through and I found those, and there was one in particular that she had took and she kind of rolled things. And I never really paid attention to it when we took it off the wall after she had passed. And I knew it was like that. I just kind of phased out. But it was 30 something degrees here this morning. And when I went out, you shouldn't be seeing any butterflies anywhere, but one similar in color, the orange and black, was out there, and its wing was kind of cockeyed at the end, but it was still flying at a, I kind of feel like it's a message sort of deal, not necessarily paranormal, but just a sign, hey, I'm here. It was just something I like. The butterflies and the dragonflies, I hear a lot of stories about those, so it's kind of sweet. I don't want to say paranormal, but it's definitely a personal experience,
Right.
that has some paranormal signs, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, when my mom, I took care of my mom, and I actually went to her state and took a leave of absence and was her caregiver and took care of her. And we would talk because she knew that my older sister was able to have these experiences with people on the other side, and she knew that I've had a few of them myself, but I haven't, I didn't share with her that they continued, and I was always one that wanted to just reject them. I didn't want that so-called muscle to grow. I just wanted to just reject it. And but I took care of my mom, and my mom made a pact with me. She said, when I get to the other side, my mom did believe in the afterlife, and she said, when I get there, she said, I promise you, I will make sure that you know that I arrived and I'm okay. I will get a hold of you. This isn't goodbye. And she promised me that she would make sure that I knew that all was well. And after she died, I was kind of upset for a couple of years, thinking, I'm not having any experiences with her. I'm not, like I have had these profound experiences with other people. And I kind of got upset. And then it dawned on me that I was smelling her perfume in my house quite a bit.
Yeah, she was coming back to visit you.
Yeah. So
yeah.
It's always been something very positive, but there's always been signs. Yeah, and her perfume, she wore, trying to think of the name, you can't even find it anymore.
Yeah.
Hold on a second, I have her bottle in my medicine cabinet because but it's in a baggie sealed, so I can't smell it. Oh, Taboo.
Yeah.
I love that perfume.
Yeah.
Taboo. But here's
my grandmother used to wear it.
Here's the thing about my mother's scent was taboo and cigarette smoke. My mom was a smoker. And so she wore taboo and she smoked cigarettes. And so, when you would give her a hug, you'd smell those both of those things. And I smell the taboo with the cigarette smoke in my house, and nobody smokes.
Right. That happens a lot.
We actually, in Mom's house, in there a few years back, and we smell him in there sometimes. He smoked a certain thing, and we still catch whiffs of it, and we know he's there, and we're like, hey, Dad, and how you doing? And we actually will speak to him when he's in the house.
Yeah.
So
now, I want to get back to C. Marie real quick. I want to ask her, You know, she said that I was just reading the chat, guys, and she was saying that they still got to take those knobs off of her stove in order to keep herself safe. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. We used to think somebody was bumping it or something was going on. One time our cat was basically on fire. One time on Christmas, we had a bunch of family over. My brother-in-law was freaking out, yelling for me. I go in the kitchen and the flame's at least over a foot tall. That doesn't happen. And we had people look at the stove. There's nothing wrong with it. When we moved in, there were 3 stoves in the house. So we keep the knobs off, and that seems to work. But 2 Thanksgivings ago, I saw the knob turn. I actually saw it happen.
No kidding. Now, do you have gas or electric?
Gas.
Oh my God. Oh my God. So are you guys renting or are you buying, Carmen? You're buying. And they didn't disclose.
Are you doing a lot of renovations?
No, the house was this way from day one. We're doing nothing. And they did not tell us. I found out that the people that lived here before us stayed for 3 months because the wife heard noises. That's all they said. And I didn't find that out until like a year after we were here.
Aren't they supposed to disclose when a home is haunted?
Yes.
They are.
Got your mic muted there, Tammy.
That was 9 years ago, though.
Yeah, it's been a while, right? Tammy, your mic is muted, doll. There you go.
Okay. Sorry.
You're fine. You're fine.
So does somebody have an opinion on what is there a difference between what I'm experiencing and what she's experiencing? Is one just say psychic ability and one is paranormal experience, or
that's what it
I
sounds
missed
like.
I've missed part of this, so I didn't get the full story on. I think it was Tammy. But I know what you're going through. You definitely, I couldn't recommend high enough. You definitely need to get some sort of help in there that goes with your beliefs, because I truly do not believe that if you have somebody coming in from a church or a shaman, if it's something that you're not going to believe in, because half your belief is your strength. If you're not going to have it in you to help kind of back the people coming in, it's an attachment, major attachment to you.
You
or
mean
to the house.
You mean Carmen, right?
You mean to Carmen? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yes.
One time
I missed your story. Technical issues. I'm sorry.
I did stand up to it one time. I was just sick of it. It was like 5 nights in a row of it being violent. And I yelled at it. And my mom told me to say this. I said, I'm a child of God and you can't hurt me. It was gone in 2 seconds after I said that.
Really?
Yeah. And I do know, I've seen firsthand, if you are kind of forceful with an entity, good, bad, if you're kind of forceful, they kind of retreat too. Like you're taking control, and it's only when I come into in our group, if we come into any kind of situation where we are not equipped to take care of something, like we are not equipped, our group doesn't have the people to do something like this, but to people in other groups that do have shamans on hand that go with them or know who can come in and help. like I wouldn't give up. Just 5 nights in a row, that would be enough to make anybody slightly crazy. You know, just with the worry and fear and uncertainty. But I definitely get with. I've watched on the comments. There's been a few people suggesting a shaman, but it's going too fast that I can't keep up. Get in touch with a local group or some of the people on here that have connections, and even if they're not close to you, they can get you somebody that's close to you, and you might find somebody travel.
We've talked to a lot of different people, and I was basically told flat out by 3 different people, nothing's going to help because it's the land.
That's why you need a shaman.
Mm-hmm.
They work with those spirits of the land.
Even the barn is completely haunted.
The barn is even haunted?
The barn, the garage, you get EVPs in the yard. The barn is
so it's your land.
It's the land. It's the house is crazy, but so is everything else.
Wow. Man,
I wonder if
I'm
it's
sorry.
built on a burial ground.
I'd be moving my ass out of there so fast you'd be seeing my fat ass digging a plow hole all the way over to the next county.
People say that, and it sounds like a really easy thing to do, but it's not. And this is my home.
It's not.
And it can follow me anyway. It's my house. They can go. Or just, I don't care if they're here, if they're nice. But that one thing just isn't nice, and it's never going to be nice.
Wow. That just...
Have you done the sage in there on a regular basis? Like the smudging yourself, or have you done just had somebody coming through to do constant cleansing?
I did the smudging myself. I think it was like a week straight. And it's kind of funny. A friend of mine, he's a ghost hunter type person in California, and he sent me this kit. It was frankincense and myrrh and holy water and different incense and less salt, and he had this ritual for me to do in each room. So I did all this and the sage, and I realized I didn't open the windows, and I had to do it all over again.
Oh no.
And I felt physically drained. It was weird. Like I laid on the floor for like 20 minutes, just drained after I did all that. It was weird.
Now,
you do when you do the smudge, are you saying a prayer, or are you just going through with the smudge?
Both. But I've given up on the smudging. I haven't tried in a long time. Maybe I could try again.
Try for a few days white smudge. I'm sorry. I'll send the link to Katie and have her send it to you. I use the white sage, and a friend of mine, I've heard people do this over the years, but I've never done it. But she also burns with lavender. It bundles them together. And she was just telling me about that today. Try doing some white sage, and I'll send you the prayer my son and I use when we go through and we do cleansings. It's a Native American prayer, like anything major, but when you're saying it, just be forceful. And I'll send that to Katie now, so she can send that to you.
Thank you. I'll give it a try.
You're
how about you, Tammy? Can you think of anything that she might be able to use? Tammy?
We've been told to do so many different things. John Zappis told us to put in a nail on each corner of the property, and then there's almost like this dance you do. It's like the hokey pokey. I'm like, come on, people.
My God.
Ridiculous.
You see, I gotta try to find. Okay. Alrighty. Well, I am wondering. I don't know. To me, I don't know. I wouldn't want to piss that thing off any more than it already is.
oh, I'm not pissing it off, trust me. And it gets mad. If you don't give attention, it gets mad. You're not supposed to give it attention, but if you don't give it any attention, it's throwing things around.
Are you?
Wow.
See, that's just crazy. Oh, Tammy, she stepped out.
Yeah. I mean, if it's peaceful, I mean, at the moment, if it's peaceful, I wouldn't recommend stirring the pot, so to speak.
I'm not going to stir the pot or anything like that, but there's certain things I wish I could stop. Like it'll press my head into the pillow, or like I said, it'll actually physically spoon me. I don't want that.
Ooh.
I don't want that, and that I don't know how to stop that.
Tammy, you were a Wiccan. Tell us, what should she do?
On a point, if it was me, I wouldn't do anything. I would get a shaman in there or a witch in there and have them do it. At this point, if it is already messing with you in your sleep, and touching you physically, there's nothing you can do on your own. Now you have the perfect attitude though. It's my house, not yours. That's you're going to need that. But seriously, I would get a shaman in there. That's just
Yeah,
my opinion.
definitely.
Yeah.
Vintage Seeker, we all have blessed metal and crosses, so yeah. It's not doing scratches or being as bad as it was, but like I said, oh, there's some things I want to say and I don't know how much to say.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Sweet Meadow, you were asking if your experiences were considered paranormal or psychic. Honestly, from what I was understanding from what you said, I think yours is more psychic.
Actually, the term medium, not psychic. I was sitting here thinking. I believe my sister took me to a medium, and I think a psychic is more is a person that's able to see. I think see into the future a little more.
Well,
I don't
that's
have those
basically,
abilities. I don't have those
yeah,
abilities.
that's semantics though. I mean, I think yours is more coming from an ability within you than it is coming from something outside of you. You see what I
It's
mean?
yeah. I've been told that I'm sensitive. I'm a
Yes.
sensitive. I'm sensitive to that, and I can pick up. I can pick that up and I can recognize it, but I can't
Mhm.
always. Stuff gets by me because I'll shuck it off, or I won't. I just
Yeah,
don't
you
want to
need
go.
to find your triggers.
I don't want to go there. I don't want to develop it. I guess
Oh,
that's
you
what
go,
I'm.
okay, okay.
You know what I mean? I've had
Yes.
experiences that have been very strong and profound, but then when I start to have one or whatever, and I don't want to go there because I don't want it to go any further, because I feel that if I took it a little further, I could probably um, experience more. And um, basically, probably find, I've been in areas where somebody has passed and I knew it. I could feel it. I could feel, their spirit, and I would tell my husband something has happened here. I really feel it. I could walk into a room and tell him, something, and then we would check it out and we'd find out, yes, like
Mhm.
for instance, to give you an example, like an old hotel or something, I could walk past a room and go, okay, something, we're not staying in that one because something has happened in there. And then
Yeah,
I would do a little research or something and find out, yeah, somebody died in that room, and I could feel that energy.
And just you speaking on that, I was reading the comments. Makeup by Mandy said, I was with a lot of people over 15 years as a paramedic when they passed. You could physically see their spirit leave. Never had anything creepy, though. It was always a peaceful feeling. So, that in itself is, I've heard of that before also.
It's very, that spirit is very, very powerful. It's a very powerful force, and we don't really recognize it when we're alive and we're interacting with one another. But when it leaves, it's so powerful, you know it has left. And I think when people have been in an accident, or we're basically just, and I'll mention Lacey again, driving down her street after this happened, and she wasn't even found yet. And my husband and I had driven down her street, and we were going to go look at that park at the end of the street, and I could feel her, and I already knew.
Wow.
And I could feel it, and I could feel her, and it was powerful, and we didn't even get to her house, and I could feel her, and I could feel that she was mad. She was mad. She was angry. So
I don't blame her.
Yeah,
it was overwhelming, and I think after we turned on her street, we weren't even up to the house, and I was feeling it. I mean, so yeah, I mean, I could only imagine if you're working in that industry, or that field, that line of work, and you have a friend had shared this with me, that he had witnessed a car accident, and it happened right in front of him, and the person was in the intersection, and he had got out of his car and got the man out of his vehicle, and the man had just looked up at him, and he was grasping, and anyway, basically he died in his arms. And he said the same thing, that force, when his spirit left, he could literally feel it. And he never got it, and he had never had any experience before in his life, but that's always stayed with him, and he's always remembered it.
So but how many of people use EVPs on this panel?
Oh, I've got so many EVPs.
I do.
I don't have any.
You don't have any, Tammy?
No, but I think they're fascinating.
I have so many. It's ridiculous.
Do ya? And how about any kind of time-sensitive cameras, to pick up anything? Do you guys do any of that?
I have a friend sending the whole kit of all that. I'm so excited.
I do a lot of that. I have so much on my computer, my son's computer. And now that I'm starting to get a little free time, I'm getting ready to start another page and start posting our more recent stuff.
Now, I know
the audio.
You were going to go on a hunt here this weekend. Did you guys end up going?
No, we had a little bit of good news, so we kind of stayed at home as a family. Got released from the children's hospital, so we kind of
wonderful
stuck close. So we're planning to this weekend. I'm hoping tomorrow night to go do that, depending on if it's going to freeze, because I don't do cold.
Right. Yeah, you're down in Texas. Hell, I don't do cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a cemetery. The one we're going to do, it's out in Myrtle
Springs.
It's not Big Rock. I'm not sure what it's called, but somewhere along the line, somebody took like these huge boulders, and I know for a fact when I was scoping the area out, that some of those were markers, and somebody at some point just came through and just kind of bulldozed them all into one huge mound.
Oh, geez. That would piss
and
off.
There's like you get a lot of weird vibes when you go there. I'm a little leery. It's going to depend on who's coming with us because we do have newbies. And there is a lot of hog activity out there. I mean, they're running up. Boo and I were trying to fill them when we scoped it the last time and fill holes and prop the headstones back up. So I really want to get out there because the energy, unreal. It's
wow.
there. Like I feel like there's curiosity about us when we were there. So I definitely want to get out there and get that done. I'm hoping tomorrow.
Good.
But I still want to get out to Holly Springs.
Right. Well, what I'd like to do next time any of us do this is bring in and do some screen sharing of whatever you've come up with, or certain, like Cameron, maybe, maybe I could screen share some of your work, and Lisa's and Tammy. I'd like to talk a little bit more about some of the work that you have done. I know that Tammy, she was a Wiccan at one time, and I am pronouncing that right or not?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And so I'd like to talk more about that if you don't mind. Would you like to talk to me about it?
Yeah.
Okay. All righty. So, well, I'm going to let whoever wants to take over, or we're just going to call it a night.
Well, I
I'm
tell
ready
you,
to go to bed,
I'll send you some stuff.
Okay,
I'll
Tammy.
send you some stuff, and you can post maybe next week.
Okay. We can do that. I would enjoy that. Tammy, I want to thank you, doll. I know you're not feeling good and you're tired. So I want to thank you, and I'm looking forward to this new channel. It's going to be fun.
Oh, me too. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It will be. I really appreciate you coming in.
Oh, I've enjoyed it.
Thank
you.
you.
I'm going to go ahead and kick off. So good night, everybody.
Good night, Tammy.
Night.
Good night.
And see, Marie, I'm sorry, I've just known you so many years with that name.
Tell me that.
Okay, I mean, I just love you. You are the best. I've known you probably, 3 years now? Maybe? Well, yeah. 2 or 3 years on Facebook. And she does great work, and I just love her to death. And Sweet is just starting up her channel. And then I'm going to talk Lisa into getting onto her channel and building her channel up too. So
yes, I'm going to actually work on that this weekend if I get a chance.
So yeah, and I'll definitely help you when I can. Hi, Bob. So Carmen, I want to make sure that you, gosh, when you get ready to do your work on your house, please let me know, will you? When you work on your video, I am so interested.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, I'm gonna do a live stream. People want to know about the history and things like that, so I'm gonna do that. But I have a blog that I haven't really shared here because some people are scary. But
right.
The blog has got so much evidence on there and videos and EVPs and photos. We've been asked to be on My Ghost Story, Paranormal Survivor, Steve Harvey. Well, that's not going to happen. There's more. I've got some really good evidence from this house.
Wow. And where do we find this vlog at?
I'm going to go ahead. I guess when I do my stream, I'll link it.
Let me see. Why don't I you type your name in the room for me, and the only way you can link it is if you're a mod. So I'll just mod you real quick.
Oh, I was going to link it in my stream.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if I want to make that public yet because people are
okay,
and they'll know a lot about everything if I link it. So I'm thinking.
Well, I can't wait actually. So I'll be looking forward to that.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I really appreciate it. And thank you, Lisa, my little doll. And we'll probably talk to you next week, huh?
There we go.
There we go. So we'll probably talk to you next week, huh?
Yes, and I did post our old Facebook page on comments too, the Van Sant County Paranormal.
Okay.
That for a while, and we are going to redo another page because I've got some really good evidence, video, audio, and stuff like that. So week I'll have some of that up for everybody to see.
All right. And go to that link that she put in there because there is some good stuff on there. So I want to tell everybody good night. I'm tired. It's been it was a hard time singing Santa Baby tonight.
Great.
I want to thank everybody for coming in, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thank
Thank you, guys.